And may I invite General Schwartz to come up to the podium one last time. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you one last time for joining us today. And as we heard this morning and heard just now, we're facing an evolving and comprehensive threat, and one that utilizes both cyberspace and social media to inspire our citizens to violent causes. And I would argue that there's no straightforward approach to strengthening public safety, but rather it's a combination of factors that have to operate seamlessly. It will require, I think, perhaps oversimplified, but vigilance and forthright direction from both our public and private sector leaders, a sense of shared mission. I repeat, shared mission that starts with individual citizens and local law enforcement and rises all the way to the federal level. And it involves dedicated and forward-leaning leaders like so many of the ones who shared the podium today or the stage today, including Jim Comey. For BENS, for the organization that I lead, today's symposium is a continuation of a sustained focus on how the private sector can contribute to public safety and, of course, the nation's security. And for 35 years, this has been our passion. We have coordinated with the intelligence community to streamline the federal down to the local level approach to public safety. And more recently, the members I introduced to you earlier have partnered with public safety advocates at the state and local level to do the bottom-up piece of this very, very important mission. The work envisions a networked approach that leverages private sector stakeholders as integral players in this very important government enterprise. The approach, I think, is organized around strong horizontal partnerships. The tendency is on the federal side to work in verticals, but this is different. This is more a private sector approach that involves providing greater visibility on information requirements, improving coordination, and enabling, importantly, and we saw this in London even yesterday, locally directed responses, rapid locally directed responses to threats here and abroad. Historically, the private sector has been fundamental in ensuring our national security. A strong economy, ladies and gentlemen, underwrites our armed forces in so many ways. The intelligence community, the Homeland Security enterprise. This is the conviction of the men and women that represent BENS. We are a proud partner of the Clements Center, the Intelligence Studies Project that Steve leads so well, the Robert Strauss Center that organized today's very important session. And to the staff, Steve, and to all your people, we are very, very grateful. And I think also we owe a debt of thanks both to the panelists, even those who've been provocative, and especially to Director Comey and Tom Bossert. And let me, if I may, let me just comment a second about trust. It is important, I think, for those who serve in public positions to earn that trust. We shouldn't dismiss that as a legitimate motivation. It isn't a given. It isn't something that a person in public service takes lightly, in my experience. So I would just gently push back and say that I didn't take his appeal as being disingenuous. And I know you didn't either. I got it. But all of us need to think about those who bear the burden of public service, those in uniform, those in suits, because we all benefit from their service. Let me conclude with a quick comment to the youngsters in back. The United States, the people of this country need good people to serve in positions of trust. You should consider the fact that there is a certain nobility in public service. It is not a light lift, as you heard in the previous panel. But the country depends on having people, as Director Comey said, with integrity, with character, and with the courage of their convictions. There is a place in government for you if you're up to that standard. Thank you very much.